It has been over a year since I got my Xbox Series X, and I'm here to talk to you about my experiences, what I think of it, what I've played on it, as well as kind of some information for those maybe still considering getting one. I know it's still scarce to find this console, and that's frustrating. So this is going to be separate from that conversation, as you know, it's tough to find these still. But if you are considering jumping into a next-gen console, you know, this really has been a great experience overall for me. And so, you know, I've played a variety of games. I was kind of waiting and finally jumped into getting an Xbox Series X and picked up Game Pass along the way. And boy, am I glad I did that. And so, you know, over the years, I've amassed lots of different games through Xbox Live Gold or disc games. And what's really cool about the Xbox Series X is it really is just an homage to previous generation Xbox consoles. You can play some original Xbox games. You can play many Xbox 360 games. You can play everything on the Xbox One. And then you have the advantages of seeing amazing graphics if you have a decent TV, which I do, and you know it just pops. And so it has been a solid first year for the Xbox Series X and my experience. One of the bigger games that came out earlier in the year was Microsoft Flight Simulator, you know, and that wasn't my type of game, but was great. It was on Game Pass, so got to check it out. You know, I had a family member that really loves this game. He wanted to check it out, and he was very impressed with how it ran on the Series X. And you know, it's not my type of game, but I did get to check it out, and I thought it was pretty awesome, and it definitely demonstrated the power of the Series X. And I know there's a lot of fans out there. The one game that really, for me, catered to me and my type of gameplay style was The Ascent. And this was done by a smaller team, and it's kind of a cyberpunk action RPG. And I know it was released on Steam and PC, but it really is an amazing game. It's on Game Pass, I do believe, and one I recommend checking out. The Ascent is just fantastic, and I found myself really liking this. If you like that kind of cyberpunk atmosphere, and it has kind of a nice vibe to it, a nice environment to it, and I really enjoyed kind of jumping into this and checking it out. It definitely was, for me, one of the games that I kind of sunk my teeth into. Played a little bit with a buddy of mine, and it's got some great co-op options as well. You know, I didn't have a lot of time to jump into Forza Horizon 5, but that's a huge killer racing title. There's a ton there, and you know, that came out right before Halo. We're gonna get there in a second, and I really enjoyed what they've done there. It's just so much game, and that's my biggest challenge sometimes. I've talked about this earlier, of just being able to appreciate some of these AAA titles, you know, and the hours of gameplay that they can offer. And you know, that's another Game Pass, another game that I checked out on Game Pass, and holy cow, that's an amazing service. And the more that I check it out, the more I recommend it. I think it's for Game Pass Ultimate, it's like $15 a month. And yes, it is kind of a rental service where you're checking out games and you get to play games. But if you're just into gaming and checking out games and you don't care about collecting, it's really, really a wonderful service. Or it might be a great way of checking out a game, and if you want to then get a physical, you can. And so that's what's great about the Xbox Series X, is that it can play physical media as well. So I think for me, it's a perfect blend of next gen, but then you can play optical media. So if you have backwards compatible games, you can play them on this. You know, they even updated some of the games, original Xbox games that you could play on this. And you know, even I had an old copy of Clone Wars, which I did a video on a while back. But it looks great, and taking those original Xbox games, it just looks amazing on the Series X. To be quite honest, I'm balancing time playing games and using it as a media device. And so watching all my movies, watching Disney Plus, Hulu, Netflix, Amazon, it looks great. And I really think that Microsoft has knocked it out of the park of making kind of the all-in-one device. It really is fantastic. I haven't had any hardware issues, and I've played it. I've played on it. I've watched TV. I've played games, and I do this almost every day for the last year, and so it's had some decent use after work. Come home and checking things out. Now, the big game that I think many people were waiting for was Halo. The parts that they have released of Halo Infinite is great. I love the campaign. I've really been enjoying it, kind of progressing through it slowly. I wanted to beat it over this past holiday, but just didn't have time. Time just kind of went by pretty fast. And then the multiplayer is solid. To me, I was a critic of when they first debuted Halo Infinite, and I thought last year it could be better, and boy, has it benefited from waiting to come out. And I think it's a solid Halo experience. For people that haven't checked it out, you can check out the multiplayer for free. I think that's an awesome idea, and it doesn't feel like a free multiplayer game. It definitely just, there's a lot of extra skins and stuff you can get, but I don't mess with any of that. Just, playing multiplayer with friends is great. It has a nice option where you can play against bots as well. So if you don't want to deal with anybody, but you still want to do the multiplayer, you can do that. And that's a great way to practice. And I think it's been a pretty awesome experience. So that definitely has been a strength of the first year. Is definitely some big titles came out, and I think Xbox had delivered. I definitely was pleasantly surprised with how much I did enjoy Halo and the campaign and multiplayer both. And so let's talk about Game Pass, because really Game Pass right now is what they are offering, and I love this for many different reasons. I know that the hardware is hard to get, so Game Pass is something that you don't need an Xbox Series X to appreciate. You can get Game Pass for PC even. And the different options that they have, it really offers a wide variety of games. There's well over 100 games, and there's too many to list here. I'm just going to show just some of the games that are on Game Pass, and it changes from time to time. The new big one is the Mass Effect Remastered Trilogy, and I really think that is cool. I'm probably not going to have enough time to check it out, but I know many people are going to be excited about going back and playing those classics, and they look amazing now. So you have all that, and you have the amazing selection of Game Pass, but that's not it. This is just the start of, I think, a great future for the Series X. They have many things planned for the second year. I have my favorites for sure. A few games that I'm looking forward to moving forward is Starfield. Okay, I think that's the big one. That's the big one everybody's waiting for. Amazing. It's promised to be just outstanding. So combining something from like No Man's Sky with an in-depth RPG like Skyrim, and so I just think the exploration and what they've kind of teased about this, I think Starfield's going to be amazing. Another game that looks pretty interesting is called Replaced. That's kind of more of an indie title, and I think Microsoft is a nice balance of offering power and performance, but they're also offering a wide selection of indie games, and they've done a good job of sprinkling those in. There's classics such as Hades, The Outer Wilds. There's other games that are being offered on the service of Game Pass and just on Xbox in general that I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be excited to check it out. Another game that looks scary that I am looking forward to playing is Scorn. And so that definitely has kind of the aliens look to it, and creepy. And, you know, for sure, I'm really excited about checking that out. Also, there's kind of a recent release of news that a possible N64 game, GoldenEye, is going to actually appear on Xbox One. And I really, really hope that happens. I know there's a lot of fans out there. Yes. Is it dated? Yes. Is it still fun? Absolutely. And it's supposedly might include online multiplayer. Oh my goodness, that's going to be a huge thing. I think it's going to sell really well. And I know there's fans out there of GoldenEye, and I think being able to play that classic on an Xbox One, if they can secure that and offer that, I think that's going to be awesome for Microsoft. And so, with that being said, I know that this console is still hard to get. And luckily, Microsoft was pretty smart offering a more affordable digital-only option, the Xbox Series S. And for many people out there that don't care about collecting, that just want to play the games, and they may not have the most high-tech and modern setup, the Series S is a great affordable option at $300. I think Microsoft was really smart offering that. I have a couple friends that love their Series S, and you know, for me, I think that was really smart of Microsoft to offer that as an affordable option, especially with people on a budget. So that's it. That's my experience of the Series X the first year, and I'm looking forward to gaming and utilizing it way more in the future. What are you playing on it? Have you experienced it? What do you think of it? Have you played any games on it? Comment below. What are your favorite games? What is your thoughts about the Series X? And I just want to say thank you so much for continuing to tune into my channel. You know, I'm really blessed and honored to be able to continue to offer a wide variety of content, and you can check out my channel. I have many different playlists, and just check out what I have to offer, everything from classic retro to videos such as this that are more modern. Thank you so much. Let's keep it positive. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. This is the Immortal John Hancock, and you have a good day.